Alrighty, and we have a new interviewee today from our teen life series rather. My name is, and what is your name?
Amanda Eves.
Okay, and how old are you? How old are you?
I'm 19.
19. Okay, and I chose to interview you today because you've had a pretty interesting life. And we're going to just go ahead and start off with the basics.
Okay.
So, where are you from?
I'm originally from here in Joplin, Missouri.
And how are you? You have, it's like, are you living with your mom and dad, or?
I'm actually living with my oldest son's father's parents. It's very confusing, but.
Okay. Did you not get along with your parents, or how did that go?
Well, my father passed away when I was 7, and my mother and I didn't get along for many, many years. We just rekindled our relationship about a year ago, but she lives in Kansas City, and I lived with her for a while, and I just wasn't happy up there, so I came back down here to where I could just have a more calmer life. I'm not big on the city life at all.
Okay. And you have any siblings, like brothers or sisters?
Yes, I have three older sisters, one on my dad's side and two on my mom's side.
Okay. And how do you get along with them?
The one on my dad's side I've only met a couple times, and the one on my mom's side I don't really get along with the best.
Okay. Did anything happen, or just, sibling rivalry?
I think it's like a jealousy thing. They were both like, one's 10 years older than me and the other is 8 years older than me, and then I came along, and so they were both just kind of mad that my mom had me, I think, so.
Oh, okay. Just more of the attention thing, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, well, we won't talk too much about them right now. Okay, so how was your childhood? What can you tell us about your childhood?
It was pretty good until I was about 12, and my mom left my stepdad, and I ended up living with my two older sisters who took their chance to kind of get me in a lot of trouble. I went from being a straight A student to skipping school and getting in a lot of trouble.
Ah.
Yeah, and I got into a lot of trouble.
Well, didn't you have like the willpower to actually just, stick around in school and do good, or?
I actually did. I went back to school even though I missed a lot. I managed to keep all my credits all through high school, but at 16 I wound up pregnant. I was in foster care, and it was a very stressful situation, so I then dropped out of school because I knew it was just going to be too hard being 16 and pregnant, plus trying to deal with the foster care system.
Okay. Alrighty, so let's see. Okay, so you had a pretty decent childhood up till 12. Okay, so let's see, basically, what was it that made it turn around, really? I guess maybe what made it into a bad situation.
I got mad at my mom, and I was introduced to this whole new world with my sisters that I had never seen before. Drugs, partying, this whole other lifestyle that I had no clue about. And I was so mad at my mom that I just kind of fell into their habits living with them, because I blamed her for, my dad leaving and then dying, and then her leaving my stepdad, just uprooting me. I had been in the same school, kindergarten through 7th grade. I had tons of friends that I grew up with, and now my life was just completely upside down, and I think that's why I just kind of didn't care anymore.
Okay, so you just kind of just jumped into it and just let it...
Yeah.
Okay, did you do drugs?
Yes.
See, can I ask what?
It was mainly just marijuana when I was a teenager, until I was like 13, and then I got into a lot of trouble. I was in a treatment facility for teenagers, and I kind of straightened up for a long time. And then I kind of started getting, as I got older, I started getting into marijuana, and I got married at a young age, and I got into some really bad stuff. I started doing meth because my husband, he was really big into it, and I didn't realize it at the time. and it about killed me, and that's when I realized that I didn't need the drugs in my life. So I left my husband and picked up and moved to Kansas City, trying to start new and trying to make my life better for my son.
Okay. Okay. So let's see. Well, you didn't get into anything hard, which was good. Okay. So was it really love? I mean, did you? I mean, was it really love that you was feeling, or was it just something to just kind of get
It
out?
was, honestly, I can admit now, it was head games. I just took it way too far. I was really mad at my son's father, and I thought that by getting engaged to somebody, you know, he would straighten up and want me back and want to make things work so we could have a family with our son. And then as time went by, it got to the point where I was being abused and I couldn't really get out of the relationship no matter what happened. And I was kind of too scared to leave, so that was really why I married him.
Oh, okay. So, okay, one of those like emotional
Yeah.
upbringing and out beat down and then back up and then kind of.
Yeah, because at first he was a great guy. You know, my son's father wasn't the greatest. He wouldn't buy diapers. He wouldn't do anything, as a matter of fact. It was like he wasn't even there. You know, and this guy comes along and he's walking to buy diapers for my son because my son's father's friend had stolen my car and wrecked it. And I had no transportation. I had lost my job. And he was great for the first couple of months, you know. And then after he asked me to marry him and I agreed to it, he set a date. And then he just became a drunken abuser, really. And the drugs didn't help either.
Oh, okay. So he was just being nice, and then, well, being nice just to get you, and then after he got you, it was just kind of like, oh, well, to hell with it.
Yeah,
do whatever
pretty
I want.
much.
Okay. So did anybody, I'm sorry, do you feel that anybody like attempted to come to your rescue, or did you just push them away, or?
You know, my mom and my sister, they try to say, oh, you shouldn't do it. But I didn't really have any respect for them at the time because of, you know, not to get into their stories, but the way their lives were. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of like, well, why should I listen to you? Look at where you're at, you know? Mm-hmm. What good is your advice going to do for me?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was pretty much it.
Okay, so now I'm just curious. I just kind of thought this up. Did you have a close relationship with your stepfather? Or how?
I did to an extent. I mean, it wasn't a really, like, loving relationship, but the fact that he was the only father figure I ever had, you know, it did mean something. But he was also a drunk, and he abused my mom, and he abused me a couple times, you know, put hands on me when I was a kid, but I still did love him just because he had been there since I was 3 years old, and he was the only father I knew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to go into why, or could you have gone back to him and asked, you know, just for a little bit of support or something, or maybe.
I tried a few times, you know, and he adopted me actually when I was a kid, and you know, I tried to go back, like, hey, you know, can you help me? And he kind of blew me off, like, now that him and my mom weren't together, it didn't really matter.
Oh, okay.